Hello, and thank you for listening to this presentation on Goldstrike Park. It runs approximately 15 minutes. My name is Maki Boyle, Senior Landscape Architect for Parks and Urban Design in vibrant community and neighborhoods at the City of Arvada. In this presentation, I'm going to give a brief overview of the project and then share 2 designs for the park with you. We are currently in the second engagement window. Earlier this year, we reached out to hear about what you would like to see at Goldstrike Park and to confirm what we've learned in previous planning efforts. Some of the highlights we heard were to make this a destination and to focus on the educational value of the site. We heard from many families as well that they really enjoyed nature-based play and that shade, lighting, and restrooms were a necessity. In addition, it was important to celebrate the rich history of Arvada, enhance trails and regional connections at this potentially iconic gateway to the city. Lastly, in our outreach efforts, 5 park planning themes emerged from which we organized the park elements: play, gather, grow, connect, and learn. In response to the question, what play elements and play experiences would you like to see added to the park? We heard nature play that connects to the creek, gold panning play connecting to the history of the site, and playful elements along the trail. What elements would improve community gathering opportunities in the park? We heard creek overlooks, seating along the trail, and small picnic areas, as well as community pavilion, flexible market and event space, and a gathering lawn. In terms of grow, in response to the question, how would you like to see habitat enhanced and restored in the park? We heard native wildflower habitats, expanded tree canopy for shade and habitat, places to explore at the confluence of Ralston and Clear Creeks, bird and bat nesting boxes, and places to explore improved stream habitat. With regard to connect, the answers to the question, how should trails be improved in the future, included soft trails for walking and nature observation, new regional trail connections, and a new creek crossing. In addition, people desired improved signage and wayfinding, trail lighting, street crossings at trail intersections, and improved ADA accessibility. Finally, we heard educational and historical signage and elements should include the following themes: ecological education, indigenous history, gold panning, pollinator education, and wildlife viewing. In the following slides, you'll see how those park elements were built into the 2 design options. But first, let's zoom out again to provide some context. Very quickly, it's helpful to see what other parks and amenities exist nearby. There are 2 nature playgrounds near Goldstrike Park, one within a mile at Inspiration Point. There are also 5 dog parks within approximately 2 miles of the park, and there are 2 disc golf courses within Arvada. There are 2 pickleball courts within a mile of Goldstrike, with Apex Pickleball Facility approximately 5 miles away. The Golden Bike Park is approximately 9 miles away, and there's a proposed bike park at Clear Creek Valley Park about a mile from Goldstrike. Lastly, there are 4 skate parks within about 2 miles of the park along the regional bike trail. Currently, Goldstrike Park sits at the confluence of Ralston and Clear Creeks. Thanks to the efforts of Lois Lindstrom, we know this is the site of the first recorded discovery of gold in Colorado. Goldstrike Park is 7.6 acres total, with 51% of the site within the 100-year floodplain. There are 2 existing sculptures intended to remain in place, and Arvada's regional bike trail bisects the park. Goldstrike sits between industrial areas to the west and east, and is bordered by US 76 to the south and Ralston Road to the north. The current entrance via vehicle is right off of 55th Street there. In this opportunities and constraints map, we can see how the existing conditions guide the framework of the site plans in regards to locating proposed amenities. This design aims to buffer the surrounding industrial areas with planting and parking. It also aims to use the flat areas out of the floodplain for permanent structures as well as parking. Highlight the existing sculptures on the west side in the design and use some areas of high quality habitat near the downstream portion of the creek. Much of the uplands is low quality habitat, including many noxious weeds. Based on site analysis and feedback from the first engagement window, 2 concepts were developed. While they're distinct in the organization of the amenities and circulation, both include the following features. With regards to interactive play, both include nature play, gold strike themed play, and historic and interpretive educational elements. In terms of places to gather, both include a flexible event lawn, shade, seating along the trails, and restrooms. Growing better habitats include a pollinator meadow, habitat improvements, interpretive garden and elements, creek and wetland improvements, landscape buffers and berming, as well as bird and bat boxes. And in terms of making better connections, designs include soft and paved trails, low flow creek crossings, a pedestrian bridge or bridges, and regional trail improvements. They also provide opportunities to facilitate learning, including creek overlooks, covered and uncovered picnic areas, and educational pavilion signage. To introduce Concept A, the design team put together some precedent imagery. Concept A, which we're calling Wandering Creek, contains features like regional nature play, pollinator gardens, restored wetlands, and a flexible event space for things like movie in the park or group gatherings. This concept has more passive recreation with more elements in their natural form and less built amenities. It focuses more on creek interaction. The unique features in this concept are a natural splash pad with a wetland boardwalk and overlook, and gold panning play. Concept A focuses on reconnecting the 2 sides of Gold Strike Park through meandering loops that circumnavigate the park and interact with Ralston Creek. It embraces the restored native habitat between 2 pedestrian bridges that anchor the north and south edges of the park and contain fewer permanent built features. In terms of the park planning theme connects, 2 central axes connect the eastern and western sides of Gold Strike Park, anchored by pedestrian bridges to the north and south. Each axis is headed by a large shade pavilion, which directs views into centralized open spaces that step downhill toward overlooks at Ralston and Clear Creeks and native landscapes. Internal trails run alongside the regional trail through half the park, providing visibility and improving safety. In regards to the park planning theme Grow, a restored Ralston Creek corridor contains a boardwalk, a low flow crossing, and overlooks that traverse through improved wetlands, bird boxes, and creek play. In terms of the park planning theme Gather, a flexible gathering space lies adjacent to the regional bike trail to the south, contains themed naturalistic elements, and has shaded seating for visitors to gather and watch, while visually concealing the neighboring industrial properties. In terms of the park planning theme Play, a regional nature playground with a natural splash pad and pebbled beach for gold panning play surrounds the central event lawn and central pavilion on the east side and connects to Ralston Creek. In both options, there are 2 paved parking lots on both sides of the park with ADA spaces and a bus drop-off. near the eastern pavilion, providing efficient park access for visitors. The final park planning theme of Learn is achieved through 3 interpretive walking loops, which provide opportunities to learn more deeply about the site's past history, present ecological benefits, and future desired use. Stories of gold panning, indigenous history, and ecological education are told using distinctly paved walking paths that circumnavigate the park, passing through interpretive gardens and themed elements. These looped walking experiences selectively connect at points of shared histories and meander away towards unique themed features and anchor the 2 sides of the park. The unique paving patterns can be created using surface treatments or inlays in concrete sidewalks, as well as using soft surface materials like crusher fines. Concept B, Adventure Destination, also contains elements like a flexible lawn, an educational pavilion, and nature play, but uniquely has more active adventure features like a large bouldering feature, a hammock post garden, a robust Sandy Creek play area, and a larger flexible space to the south that could accommodate larger active site programs like farmers markets or sports of various sizes. This concept has more theme-built features and natural materials to help educate about the site's history through active interaction. In this concept, in regards to the Park Planning Theme Connect, a central axis featuring a pedestrian bridge connects the 2 complementary eastern and western sides of Gold Strike Park. It is anchored by 2 large pavilions. In regards to the park planning theme Grow, a restored Ralston Creek corridor flanks either side of the bridge with a wetland to the south and creek play access with a low flow crossing to the north. The bridge opens to the regional bike trail on the western side, leading to a trail adjacent flexible event space and an area to view the gardens and existing sculptures. In regards to the park planning theme Gather, the flexible event space to the south would visually conceal the neighboring industrial properties and highlight the 2 existing sculptures. But we'd like to hear from you what you'd like to see in this larger space. Our goal is to activate it and make it a real destination. In regards to the park planning theme Play, a regional nature playground with hammock post garden and bouldering feature surrounds the central event lawn and classroom pavilion on the east side. This concept also provides 2 paved parking lots on both sides of the park with ADA spaces and a bus drop off again on the eastern side. Like Concept A, Concept B provides learning opportunities through looped walking experiences surrounding gold panning, indigenous history, and ecological education. These loops are primarily organized along a central axis, connecting 2 sides of the park. They traverse through interpretive gardens and theme-built elements sited at the confluence of these stories and pathways. This would also feature 3 distinct paving types that create ADA-compliant hard and soft walking surfaces. That concludes our presentation. We encourage you to take Survey 2, which is an opportunity for you to provide feedback on these 2 concepts. The survey is open from August 18th through September 4th. Thanks again for taking the time to hear about the current designs for Gold Strike Park. We hope to hear from you.